Y'all know what? It's time for a reality check when it comes to angelfish. We need to talk about this, people. This is what we need to do. We need to have a serious it's time for a reality check. Oh! But before we go any further, let me get home to get my stuff together, because I'm gonna end up crashing this sucker right here. But the road is so curvy and nice, you just lose yourself. I've done videos in the past on angelfish tank setups. All right, you could go on the internet, on YouTube, and find all kinds of videos on the ultimate angelfish setup, and I have to take it back. I have to take it all back. The fact is that we're all doing angelfish setups wrong. But there's a twist. Keep watching the video and I'm gonna tell you on how you're supposed to keep angelfish, how we're keeping them wrong, and why, get this, why we're keeping them correctly the wrong way anyway. So you see what I'm saying? It's a topsy-turvy, in and out. It's a conundrum and a riddle wrapped in a something or other. So there's this picture of an angelfish tank that you'll see it all the time on the internet. I don't know who exactly the picture came from, but it's something that sticks in my head all the time. It's such a beautiful setup, but it's unlike any other angelfish tanks out there. I got to thinking, why is it that I love this setup so much? Simplicity? Yeah, I'm a simple type of person. But as far as angelfish goes, is that right for them? That simplicity, is that simplicity correct for them angelfish? The size of the tank, the decor, which the decor only had some wood in it. All right, first of all, I gotta apologize. Some of you may realize that there's some type of break in the action from my cadence and how I'm talking from just a couple seconds ago to now. And the reason why is the light from my aquarium cut off. So there was like a weird light reaction on camera. Now, a lot of you may be thinking,
so what? Who cares? Keep going, sucker.
Well, I normally would, but I am doing I'm doing two videos at once. I'm doing a members only video where they're watching me make a video, how I do it, this, that, and the other. So this was a good learning opportunity for them on how I do this. So let me get back to what I was talking about, if I could remember. Now, where was I? Oh yeah. So this aquarium, you know, I kept wondering what it was that drew me to this tank. I watch Project Piaba. Jackie's a good friend of mine, good friend of the channel. Project Piaba's a good friend of the channel. Anytime I need help with specifics on wild angelfish, Jackie and Project Piaba are always there to help out. So you're gonna see a lot of footage. All that footage is from Project Piaba's YouTube channel, and you'll hear Jackie talking over their really quick bits, about a minute and a half, sometimes even less.
This is a whole bunch of Santa Isabel angelfish that were filmed by Katie Hausman. These fish were just so comfortable around this branch tangle in the deeper part of the creek. This was just a tree that had fallen in from the forest, and the fish were making this habitat their home. So many of these fish were hanging out here, so comfortable in the habitat that they were completely uncaring about anything else that was going on around them. Snorkelers and even in some cases predators swimming by, the fish are just so comfortable in the habitat that they just give a little side eye. This habitat is both easy and rewarding to recreate in a home aquarium. Aquarium fish that are sustainably sourced from the Rio Negro provide sustainable livelihoods to rural families, and this drives conservation by providing economic incentive for environmental protection.
For those of you who are into biotopes, into natural tanks, natural way people keep fish and fish in the wild, you will be doing yourself injustice by not going over there and watching her footage. So I'm gonna have the description of Project Piaba in there, and a lot of the footage that you're gonna see is gonna be from them. So I watch Project Piaba on a regular basis, right? And there's something about those videos about wild angelfish that if you really pay attention, will stand out like a sore thumb. A lot of times it's green. Have you figured it out yet? Have you? There is not a whole lot of plants in the wild where angelfish come from. But yet, as angelfish keepers, we go ahead and we cram these tanks full of plants. Where did that come from? Where did we start doing that? Why do we do that? Because we watch other people on YouTube do it, telling us that that's the way it's done. And I'm here to tell you, if you're trying to be a purist, that's not true. Check out this footage. All right, so obviously the first thing that stands out is the color of the water, right? Let's not go too big on that quite yet. We're going to talk about the body shape of the fish. All right, so try and keep that dirty doodle water out of your head for a second. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about the body of the fish. The body of the fish is triangular shaped with long, stringy, like the fins are kind of like straight and long. Now that comes into play if you look in the video in front of your face right now. You will notice that these fish are inside or amongst a whole bunch of branches and twigs and stuff like that. And if you really look at the fins, they kind of fit right in to where you almost don't notice it. The stripes of the fish also help camouflage it in between all those wood branches and what are those things at the bottom of the tree? Roots. They kind of blend in. Now, the silver coloration on the wild angelfish, while a lot of people may think is, oh, I got a blue angelfish, I got a super red angelfish, that silver color is imperative for angelfish in the wild. This is one reason why these liars on these videos that say, I found this fish in the wild in Florida. No, that fish would not exist because it would be picked apart by the first predator that comes apart. The silver angelfish, the silver on the angelfish reflects the light. So that fish now becomes that brown water that that is surrounding it. So that's very, very important for you guys to remember, because angelfish, they swim in a loose shoal. And this helps out with predators, because there are predators. There's birds, which birds would probably have a hard time seeing them because of how thin they are from the sky. You look down, all you see is a straight line. You don't necessarily see that torpedo shape of a normal fish. But if you're looking at them from sideways, right, and they're all together, I'm gonna show you a picture right here of a bunch of angelfish side by side, just all together. You almost can't pick with the stripes. You almost can't pick them out which one is the individual. So it helps, kind of like zebras. You know, zebras, when they're in a big group, you can't really point one out. The lions have a hard time, pinpointing one individual fish. Same thing with the angelfish. So these angelfish's bodies and coloration and shape size, they're a work of art as far as nature concerned. Okay, now we got to go into our aquariums, our fish that we have at home, right? Now you see the angelfish living amongst the wood, the branches, the tree limbs and the roots and all that stuff. Now think about your angelfish at home. In that bright green and red heavily planted tank, those angelfish cannot swim in that tank. Their bodies are not really designed to go through like if you think of the fish that live best in heavily planted tanks, they're your bichers, they're your eels, they're your loaches. They're slim, long, snaky looking fish. Angelfishes cannot live and maneuver inside a thick vegetation like that. They'll get tangled up in everything. So in the wild, they're not in a whole lot of vegetation. In fact, there's barely any around. In the videos that I'm showing you, there's almost none. All right, so we just went over their body and their shape and their color and their patterns and all that, and how that really doesn't jive with how we keep them. Let's talk a little bit about how they swim. If you look at some of these videos, some of this footage, some of these pictures, you will notice one thing: they're not swimming inside of vegetation. Like I said just a little while ago, they're swimming in open water. Yeah, maybe they're along beside the water, skirting the leaves and the branch, the stuff. But they're when they move, they don't move inside of dense vegetation. They swim in open water. So the fact that we keep them in these aquariums that are so thick, all the way to the top of the tank, with vegetation, is also very incorrect, inconducive with how these fish are designed to live in the wild. Mind you, I am going to talk about the videos that I have made and the videos that are out there right now, and I'm going to give them some kudos. I'm going to give them some kudos, so don't think I'm totally hating, all right? Because I'm not. Feeding. These fish are predatory fish, all right? Again, they predate on small fish. They cannot chase a small fish through all that foliage. So another reason why having a thickly planted tank is a no-no when it comes to angelfish. When angelfish spawn, they spawn on branches, vertical surfaces if they can, or slanted surfaces that is kind of broad. The reason why most people say get an Amazon sword for them to breed on is because it's a very wide thing. So having small itty bitty leaf plants all over the place isn't helping their spawning out. So again, another reason why heavily planted tanks are a slap in the face of angelfish keepers and angelfish lovers everywhere. Okie dokie now. So I'm really hoping that you're liking the subject matter so far. And I'm glad you are, because there's more coming, so stick around for that. But before we go any further, if this is your first time visiting my channel, please hit the sub button, notification bell, and leave a comment. I need to know what you guys think about what I'm doing. How am I going to know if I'm doing any good unless you tell me I am or am not? And also leave a like. Listen, it is a small gesture on your part, but this is huge for my channel. It'll let the algorithm know that my video is worth watching, and it'll help push it out there by leaving a like and watching the entire video. So from me to you, from Aquafunk to you guys, I thank you in advance. All right, so I already went over a little bit on how birds from the sky is one of their #1 predators, and how they kind of evade that by having that slim look. But there's also fish underneath the water is also predatory to the. Let's say, dude, there's so many things. There's wild otters that'll take on an angelfish and kill it. There are barracudas. You know, I think in one of the footages that I'm putting out there, there's a freshwater barracuda in there, and all these predators out there, which you're not gonna have in your aquarium. You're not gonna have in your aquarium, but this is why they're shaped and look the way they do, is because they are predators, and evolution has found a way to help them through all this dangerous territory that they're going through. Tank mates. What are the best fish to keep with angelfish, or what fish should you not keep with angelfish? People have some strange idea that angelfish are so dainty. They're predators. Feeding normally consists of eating other fish. They don't really pick on algae or plants or stuff like that. They get their plant matter from the fish that they ate just a little while earlier, that just happened to eat some plant matter. So why people think these fish are so dainty, I don't know. You can look in this tank. You got severums, you got flag cichlids. They're in the same waters as Oscars and piranhas. So when you look at people's tanks and you see they're completely surrounded by rummy nose tetras and this tetra and that tetra. And in the wild, yeah, they do have tetras around them, but I seriously doubt the tetras are as abundant and thick and heavy as we put them in our fish tanks. Not only that, we almost never see angelfish in a fish tank with larger cichlids. But in the wild, that's a fact of life. It's a day in the life of an angelfish swimming along large or as large cichlids of different types. So, heavily planted, full of tetras, I will never understand. Habitats in general, on where they come from and how we keep them, are so alien to each other. In the wild, these fish are surrounded by water that's filled with tannins, right? Now these tannins drop the pH, so they have very low pH, probably like 6 and 5, and in some cases I even heard of slower. I don't know about that, but I know 6 is what a lot of people prefer. I've done them at 6. They lived fine. I didn't try going lower, but I've also had them at 8, and I'm gonna tell you why that's possible at the end of the video. Their plants are almost no, there's almost never plants. The only time you really see them around plants is during the rainy season, when the Amazon basin floods. Then the water starts moving across the land. Now that land had plants, right? So that's where you see them around plants, is when they're running into a territory that's new to them. The seasons may be very chill in the Amazon. Like they do have summer, winter, fall, and all that. It's just so subtle. It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but there is a difference for reason. For instance, at some point during the year, there's a rainy season, right? That rainy season brings down heavy, cool, heavy oxygenated rain. And it starts flooding the basin. Now, what's happening there? All right, you got cooler water, right? It's a cooler time of the year, so we keep these angels at like 80 some degrees. I know I do, but they can tolerate swings in temperatures that we didn't think was possible. So I would not complain too much when people. I don't complain too much in general when people tell me about the temperatures they keep them at. If you was doing a biotope, I would try and get like a farmer's almanac for the Amazon or whatever area they come from, whether it be the Orinoco or the Adapo or the St. Isabella, whatever. You want to go ahead, or Peru, you want to go ahead and get like a farmer's almanac. If you're doing a biotope, a farmer's almanac of the temperature, and you could do it accordingly if you're trying to do the biotope. But once again, there's not a lot of plants. If you look at the bottom, it's either dirted bottom or it's heavily leaf litter at the bottom. We keep them in sand and in gravel, and none of that stuff is how they come from in the wild. So why do we keep doing it? It's simple. It looks pretty. All right, people. So I talked all this talk on how terrible we are for keeping angelfish in pretty tanks, right? But there's a case to be made on how we keep our angelfish in our heavily planted, colorful tanks. There is a case to be made. And the biggest case to be made is, I'm over here talking about how angelfish live in the wild. How these wild angelfish live in the wild. Only chances are you don't have a wild angelfish. Chances are that you don't have an angelfish that is silver with stripes. Chances are you have a blue angelfish. You have a white angelfish. You have a gold angelfish. These fish would not exist in the wild. Their colors would pop out like a sore thumb, and they would get picked off by predators. So if we're putting them, these artificial angelfish, artificially, when I say artificial, I'm talking about, their color and their body, with the long fins and all that stuff. These man-made angelfish types, well, we're putting them in a man-made tank. So there is a case to be made that there are no rules when it comes to designer angelfish in aquariums. Created those. So why not have our domination of nature just transfer over into our aquariums?